Thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, if you want to get logged into your account and follow along with us as we go, that'd be awesome. I will enable the chat. So if you want to chat in and just say hi, just feel free. So we just make sure we have all this turned on. Hey, Shaya. Okay, I have a question for everybody. What is your favorite, or maybe not favorite, but what's your spring cleaning activity you're doing right now? Right now, I am spraying for spiders and bugs. I hate spiders, so I've been spraying my house with with bug spray. So, are you like in the garden, getting weeds out? What is everybody's favorite spring activity or hobby?
Is this a spring activity or is this is a
A
task for
chore. It's a chore, but maybe it can be fun.
Oh gosh.
So we have doing inventory, donating clothes. I love that one. Deep cleaning and decorating inside and outside for spring. So fun. Power washing. I like actually, that's actually really satisfying to get all the dirt off like the house and brick and stuff.
Doing inventory. Did you see that one? Oh,
Yes.
that's so good. That's so good.
Love it. Okay, well, I guess we can go ahead and get started. What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah, I think that we've got
Okay.
we've got a good amount of people that have joined and we are recording so we can
hmm
also send this over after. So
Yeah.
good.
So thanks for joining. Just a little bit of backstory about this webinar. We are going to be going through all of the newly released features in the updated system. So Shannon and I are super excited to share with you a really great list of features that are really going to benefit you and your team. So excited to go through those. And my name is Mackenzie. So I am a Curate Success Manager. So you've probably seen me or had onboarding or training with me before. So happy to be here. We also have Shannon, our director. So she's also going to be my partner in crime and we're going to go through a bunch of lovely features. So on your Zoom screen, at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you do have a Q&A button, I believe. So you should be able to go into Q&A and you'll be able to ask questions as we go through the webinar today. And yeah, so we'll definitely spend some time to answer those on the call, or we can spend some time at the end and address any lingering questions. So happy to go through any questions that you might have as we go through this process. Um, you will get an email, a follow-up email in a day or two with the recording of this webinar. So you'll be able to reference that, share that with your team, all that good stuff. And then if you do see a feature that you really love, feel free to shout it out and let us know in chat. And we'd be happy to share that feedback with our team. We do know that some of our other team members aren't as customer facing in meetings, so they always love to hear that feedback come through. So feel free to jump into chat and let us know your feedback. So if you're following along with me in your account, uh, I'm going to go ahead and get started in this main events page. So this main events page, this is your landing page. So you're going to see all of your events listed here. Whenever you go and add your new events, we've actually added a slide, some additional information to this slide out here whenever you go through the event creation process. So you're going to see where there is a space to add your event name. You can duplicate from events. So this is really important to duplicate from your templates. So all of those pre-built templates that you've already created, it's going to really help you save time to duplicate those there. You've got the owner of the account. So if you did have other users in your account, you could change the owner here. And then you've got the branch section. That is if you have multiple locations in Curate. You've got your customer
Mhm.
section, the date, start and end time, the location of the event maybe, and then guest count. So we just added a couple additional more features on this slide out page just to help optimize the event creation process, kind of really get things going in there. So I would love that one. And then we also, just as a reminder, in this main events page, if you click on these checkboxes that appear next to the events, there is a little pop-up box that appears where you could do a quick edit. So you can definitely make some quick edits here, view your prints, archive, delete, and then also send over your events to your different integrations. And then another quick reminder on this is the quick link here where if you hover over on your different events, this little pop-up box appears and that's going to showcase some different information. So that's really helpful there to kind of just get a good idea on some
Yeah.
different things like payments and stuff like that.
I love on those boxes too. You might already be about to touch on this
Hmm.
too, Mackenzie, but those
Yeah.
shortcut links there at the bottom. So
Oh, yeah.
if I know I'm going to work on the
Hmm.
recipes or something like that, you can click like on recipe view and it'll take you directly there. Or if you know you're going to the order view or whatever, just those quick links
Hmm.
are handy if you're hovering over that. We've had really good feedback on those
Yeah,
links.
for sure. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be the main events page that we touched on. But now let's go ahead and jump into a proposal. So I'm going to go into Mackenzie's retro wedding. Um, if you've been in these webinars before, my dream wedding is a retro theme. So maybe one day, but I'm going to use this proposal and I am going to reference the orders tab. So this orders tab, as a reminder, this is where you build out your sections, your line items, all of that good stuff is built into this orders tab. So we've recently added the ability to add internal items, which is really exciting because you can add different line items that are internal only. So I'll go through that and then show you how that works. So let's just go ahead and I'll use this import from catalog button. And this just gives a slide out of all of your previously saved catalog items. I really highly suggest adding a bunch of different items and saving them to your catalog like this, because it just helps you save time. It builds in the pricing, the description, recipes, and you can go down this list and just add all of those pre-saved items. So I'm actually going to use my little filters category, this category here, and I want to add maybe some supply line items that I've pre-saved. So you can see I have these two line items that I have categorized as supplies, and I'm going to go ahead and add these into my event here, my orders tab. And maybe I don't want these to be customer facing, but I do want these to show up on my different prints and things like that. So what I can do is I can turn these into internal line items. So I'm actually going to use the multiple check boxes here next to these line items. And I'm going to go down to edit and I'm going to change the status from live to internal. So that's going to allow me to change these line items to internal. There is this little like internal section here, and it gives you some information where it's not going to be visible within like the workroom or client view, uh, but it is going to show up on like your event prints, your reports, your shopping list. So that's super exciting. I know that there's a lot of different ways you can use it. So I had
Yeah.
prep lists on here. What about you, Shannon? Any other ideas for internal line items?
Yeah, so some ways that I do see people utilize this, it could be
Mhm.
for items that wouldn't necessarily make it anywhere else on your list. I think prep list is really good because
Hmm.
on the floral side, that could mean like we need to make sure that we bring a ladder, a step stool,
Hmm.
and our travel cart or something like that. You know,
Right.
could be the pieces that need to go with us. And kind of
Hmm.
similar on the F&B side, like here's all of the like random pieces that we need to make sure people use this for all kinds of stuff. But yeah, prep list, anything that's any sort of instructions or anything that you need on the internal
Hmm.
side,
Yeah.
um, are really good there. Yeah, totally. Because it also has recipes on the back end of those
Yeah.
line. It is like a normal line item.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Elizabeth, Lily, I've got your answer half written, but Elizabeth said, would these items be able to be inventoried like internal rentals and chafing dishes?
Hmm.
And that answer is yes. So
Hmm.
any sort of any you can pull rental items into which
Yeah.
Mackenzie's about to demonstrate something
Hmm.
about rental items, but you can pull rental items in for the
Hmm.
internal line item. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be something that your customer sees, but you're still
Hmm.
making sure is being accounted for. So
For
that's great.
sure. Yeah, good points there. So, yeah, you
Mhm,
can actually turn any of your line items at all into internal. So, these are
mhm.
just examples for prep lists, but you can turn rental items, any of these line items into internal. I just went to these little check boxes and then changed the status here. So, speaking of the um, internal line items, we can also add production notes as a whole to line items. So that could help with your internal items. But each of our line items do have these slide out, these expander buttons. And we've added the ability to add production notes that are internal only to our line items. So for this for this case, for this prep list, maybe you could have like a checkbox that has things like, chafing dish. It could say like tongs, utensils, napkins. So you could actually build out like a little list here as well within production notes. They are internal and it will be saved with this line item. So you could also integrate those production notes in here as well. Uh, Using this expander, I could also add a couple items to my floral production notes. Again, these are just examples. You could add whatever you'd like in here, but I could just add like a checklist, like just making sure I have everything for my event. So stuff like that. So that's another addition are those internal production notes. While I am talking about um, let's open up these boxes again. While I am talking about the statuses, just a quick, really brief overview of the other ones. So we have the internal one that I've turned these line items to. We've also got draft. So you could draft these line items out completely so it doesn't show on your proposals to your customers and it does not include that in the total. You can also change things to possibilities. So that's going to allow you to uh, add a different like section that showcases possibilities to your clients, and that will not show up in the total, but it can add like a possibilities total there for your customers. So you could include things like maybe different expansion opportunities, like adding different items that you might not have talked about to your clients yet. So you could really showcase different items as a possibility to your clients if you'd like. And then, of course, you have the live section. So all of your items that live on the live section, your clients will see. Okay. So if we keep going down, we're going to talk about the ability to add rentals on your orders as a line item.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use my import from catalog button as well. And I'm actually going to use this filtering. It is really helpful for me to just separate this full list. And I'm going to click on rentals. Okay, I'll apply that filter. And so maybe I want to add a couple more uh, items to my events, and maybe they're going to be those rental items that are customer facing. You can see I have a couple already added, candle holders and round table, but maybe I want to add another one. So you can add rental items, and they do show up as line items for your clients. So that is updated. You will be able to do that now. And then also part of this is if I go into a rental item, I'll just use the expander button to pull up my recipe. You can actually see that the rentals now are part of the markup breakdowns as well. So you can certainly add a rental markup category to these different items and make sure that you're accurately marking up your rentals as well. Anything else that you want to add there, Shannon, before we move away from the orders tab? Anything about rentals or the internal line items, things like that?
Yeah, nothing really. Um, for the order for the internal line items, actually, I forgot to reference this earlier. We will talk about that in just a few minutes with something new that we've just
Hmm.
released called staffing. And so a
Hmm.
lot of times staffing you would generate as an internal line item. So
Hmm.
in just a few minutes, we'll give a demonstration of that as well. But no, I think that's great. Super exciting. I will say that most of these items that Mackenzie just talked about, and I kind of referenced it whenever in a response to Lily, is a lot of updates in our system. They happen because customers tell us that they want something or they pass feedback along to us.
Hmm.
And so we directly pull from that feedback for updates and changes and new functionality that we add to the system.
Hmm.
So thank you really. Thanks to our customers really that
Yeah.
give us that feedback and so that we can build the best product for you. What is the
Hmm.
thing that's going to be most helpful for your business? So I think that was
Yeah.
really
Cool. Yeah, I know we have a few customers on here who were really
Mhm.
looking for those rental items to be added externally. So excited
Yeah.
about that. Okay. So outside of the proposal, actually, we're gonna go back to the portal tab. So I'm gonna go from orders to portal, and just a quick just reminder, this is where you build out like photo aesthetics, things like that. But we've added a couple more things within this space. So one of them, really quick, is if I go down to the timeline section, if I click onto this container, it allows me to add timeline items. And if I click on add timeline event, it will showcase the date of your event now. So before it wasn't showcasing the date of event. So this can be helpful if you did want to add some different timeline items for your date of event. So it
Mhm.
does, once you do add those timeline items, it will keep them at the date of event. I think before it was adding like the day of that you're working on
Yeah,
it. So
I this is another one that's directly thanks to yeah, feedback.
yes, for sure.
That was more helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then if I go into add content, this is where I can add different types of containers, building out different, just really different pieces of aesthetic and photo options and arrangement. So you can go in here, but we've added in this excellence cover, if I click add to proposal and then go down here. As a reminder, you can move this up to be where you want it by dragging and dropping it on the table of contents.
Oh, that's
So
good.
just it's just a small change was we took off I think it was a color like a blue background. So you can change up the color if you want. And then also you can show the floral background as well. So I think that one looks nice. Okay. So we're going to jump out I'm going to cover one more thing and then I'll pass it on to Shannon. We're going to
Mhm.
cover something in the event overview page. So if I go to this event details arrow, you can see this is my event overview page for Mackenzie's retro wedding. So as a reminder, this is all internal. Your customers will never see anything you add in here. But if I click on the pencil button, I do have the ability to add or replace the customer for this event just right here. So you can certainly fill all this information in and replace this customer with a new one and then click save. So I think that's all I have for the features I'm going to cover. So feel free to take over, Shannon. I'll stop sharing my screen, but
Okay.
and then we'll keep chatting along.
Okay. Share my screen. Get back over here. Sorry. Those are great. I will say, Lily, you're doing awesome. Keep adding those questions. I think that's super helpful for making sure that we're answering anything, that you may
Yeah.
have. Um, Mackenzie, I don't know if you want to like jump on the most recent questions that are there,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
while
I
I
will.
share my screen. Um, okay, perfect. Can you see it okay, Mackenzie?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So a few items that I have to go over. We really, I think Mackenzie said this earlier, but we really, it's been a big month for us.
Hmm.
We have done a lot of releases, a lot of updates and everything this month. So we have a lot that is happening. Let me find my portal again. Sorry. There it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, perfect. So, one thing that we have made a couple of updates to is the shopping list. So, I know Mackenzie kind of looked at this earlier, but one thing with the shopping list is if I have a couple of events that I want to create a few shopping lists for, I can select those events and build my shopping list right here. So if you're a heavy user of the shopping list or it's something that you commonly use, you'll kind of like a few of these updates that we made. You might have already even seen these existing in your account. So if you are looking at the shopping list, a few of the updates that we have made is this ability to select multiple items and create a purchase order from those items. So like let me make one that makes a little bit more sense. So right here where I've got 3 of these floral items chosen, I can create a purchase order and then I say, okay, this is vendor 1 for March 15th. And then I can choose if I have someone marked as a vendor, I can choose that vendor and then I can say what date do I need that to be fulfilled. I'm choosing March 15th. Um, for that to be fulfilled. And then once I've created that, I'm going to go to view purchase order. Then in here, I can see those items. So this part specifically is not really new. I think we chatted about this last month, but it is a functionality in Curate. It's recently new. I think we built it in January, where you can send items over to your suppliers. I will see people also using this for sub rentals. So I'll just kind of throw that out there. If you are doing sub rentals for your items and you need to send a list over to the people that you're actually getting those rental items from, you can add them in the back end of your proposals and then send it over here through using purchases. So it doesn't have to be a strict purchase situation. But say I've got this situation right here. So I'm going to go back to that shopping list that I just created. That's going to be this one right here. Okay. Now you can see that I've got the pink hydrangea, I've got the yellow tulips, and I've got the agapanthus. And you can see how all of those have turned black. These other ones are red, indicating that I still need to put a purchase in for that item. Now, if I over ordered for something, which I guess I could have shown, but say I ordered 5 pink hydrangea instead of just 2, it would show an bolded color. And you can even see right here, if I hover over it or whatever, that hover I just did. I need to, and I ordered 2 of that item. So you can kind of see a little bit more information there. Um, so that is something that's really handy over here. I can see the breakdown of my purchase orders as well. So if I want to know what did I order and I can see what was the thing that it is attached to, I can do that here. So there's a lot of cool stuff, a few updates that happened here on the shopping list. The other one that I wanted to look at is the export button. So if you have used this in the past, the export button, we've gotten feedback that there's more of a desire for it to reflect what's actually on the table. So now if you click that export button, I use Google Sheets. And so if I go into Google Sheets and I want to pull this in here, I'm going to pull it from my list here. I can see that it's more going to reflect what's in that order. So I can see how many do I need, what's the name, what's the quantity, how many do I need, how many am I going to have left over, and then what's going to be the cost right here. What's the cost? What's the events that it's associated with? So it just better reflects what's on that list because some people have reasons where they need to get an export of that data for whatever reason. You can do that right here. And it does more reflect what is showing on that list right there. Okay. The next one for me to talk about is going to be a couple of things. So I'm going to jump over to payments right here. Now, we talked about this last month. I want to go ahead and just bring it up again, just for anybody maybe that wasn't able to join us last month or anybody who is interested. We do have something called Curate Payments. So it was recently released. We chatted about it last month. But this allows you to pass those card fees along to your customer. It does have ACH and it offers credit card fees. It is also through Stripe. So if you have a Stripe account, you are able to log in. It does create a new instance, just like it will with any other software that you integrate it with. But it's Stripe, but with those extra functionality on there, um, as well as gratuity. We will have gratuity coming, and that will be under Curate Payments as well. So I always like to throw that out there. If you're interested in that, just send us a quick email, or something like that, so that we can work with you on that one. We're working on making a quick update to some verbiage around that. So it may be a few more days before we're able to toggle it on for anyone else's account. We kind of do it by request right now. But let us know if you're interested. That way, when that update is complete with the verbiage or whatever, we're able to immediately toggle it on for your account. I throw that one out there. And I'm gonna look at branches really quick. I'm gonna kind of go out of order because it all kind of follows in here. So for anyone who may have multiple businesses that they're operating or multiple locations, um, that they want to manage, maybe are across businesses with each other in some ways. Branches could be something that could be a big benefit for your business. Now, it is an add-on to your account. However, it's not the same as having a whole different account. It's an add-on to your account so that you can manage it. Your team members can cross-manage it. So if you're familiar with Curate Classic, the way that you would manage this in Curate Classic is you would have multiple companies and then you could hop between companies. The way that this operates in the new system is you can have multiple companies within the same account, but then manage what you're viewing or who has access. So it's actually a, a better model for seeing that cross-functional data between your accounts. So in this account, I have three separate businesses set up. Some of those events, there is some crossover or something like that, or I may have team members that are looking at multiple things at the same time, or I need to see multiple things at the same time. So I've got all of those set up here. So some changes that have happened is with the branches, you do have the capability to have multiple branches. But I can also set up payments by the branch. So I can set up a different payment for Smells Like Home, a different payment for the Bloom Co. It's the same with the integrations. So if I need to do one integration, so it seems so simple, but the big piece behind that is it allows me to truly separate out those pieces because I may have different separation in other parts. So just kind of pointing out this new functionality of signing up one with Curate Payments, another one with Curate Payments, or having one login for QuickBooks Online and then another login for QuickBooks Online. It's that functionality that I'm pointing out here is the ability to do those integrations with their own branch. All right. The other part that I'm going to jump into concerning branches and users is this capability. So I'm going to click on a user that I have right here, is to manage what branch that person has access to view the data for. You may
Hmm.
want them to be on New City, and you may also want them to be on Bloomco, but not see Smells Like Home. So you can kind of manage that for your customers or for your users. I'm sorry, not for your customers, for your users. You can kind of manage what they have access to kind of in the system. You can kind of see that here with the branches. So you can assign them there. Another piece with the branches that we've made an update to is in the inquiries. And in my forms, again, I can assign what branch does the form apply to. So if I go in here, um, it's right here at the top, I can choose what branch I want to have to be the owner of that form. That's another piece that's there. So that's the branch. And then the last piece when it comes to branches. So right now, pretty much everything is new city creations and decor, but due to with all of those updates with the branches, I'm actually going to jump into Jack and Annie. We'll just use this one as a quick example. And I see a bunch of questions flowing through, but I'll come back to chat in just a minute. But if here on this branch, say that I want this one to be smells like home, and I'm able to make this adjustment right here because I have access to all of the branches. So as a user, I have access to all of the branches. So you can manage that, or if someone on your team has access to all of them, they would be able to do the same. So on this Jack and Annie, if I duplicate this event, just pointing out that it is going to duplicate with the branch that's there, with the branch that has it, and you can reassign it or whatever, but it just helps with that duplication. Anytime that you're creating a new event, it will maintain that branch, which is key for people that are, they could have certain elements set up in some sort of a template or whatever, and they need to keep that branch consistent, not be automatically reassigning or anything. It's going to stay with the branch that was there. Okay. And a few pieces that we've recently updated. So I'm just putting this out there in case anybody needs any assistance with this one. For users, users are really popular right now. We see a lot of people growing, adding users to their account, to better manage their account. They're really adding a lot of users. So if you do need an extra user or anything, or you want to kind of manage that, there is some capabilities for user management in this system. So we have a couple of seats. We've got what we call a sales seat, and then we've got a core seat. So the sales seat is somebody who's going to own events. They're going to be really owning customers, doing things with customer. A core seat is more on the supporting side of the system. So if you have somebody that may, if you have a sales seat and you want that to be applied to somebody, just let us know so that we can apply that on the back end so that they can have access to more in the system, owning events, creating events, doing all of those things in the system. So if you have a sales team user or if you have a user in your account that they have some sort of restrictions on their account, just let us know, the owner of the account, just let us know that we can make any sort of updates and changes there based on that user seat that they have assigned to them. So if there needs to be any sort of changing about those user seats, just let us know. Just kind of putting that one out there. Okay. Now we have two more big features that I'm going to chat about. So let me just take a breather. Mackenzie, anything to add or any questions that we should go over live or anything like that?
Um, I don't think so right now. We can always touch base with some follow-up in our email as well with some
Okay.
information.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. Um, let me see. I'll go ahead and answer Lily's question. I don't know if you answered this one separately, maybe, but you said when you turn something up from a possibility to live, it doesn't seem to put it in the original section. That makes sense. Your question definitely makes sense. So if I jump over here into the portal, is Actually, I should jump over to the orders, but whatever. So one thing that is here is this ability, if you do have something entered as a possibility, I'm going to go in here. Something that's different between Curate Classic and the updated interface is the fact that possibilities live just beneath the section that it should belong in. So if for some reason it is in another section or you do need to move it, most of the time what people will do is they'll just click save to the catalog and then pull it into that other section that they may need it to be. That way they can just kind of what I was describing before. So if you are experiencing like something different there, Lily, just let us know where it is being generated in the wrong section. We may just need to like help you figure out like getting it in the right section or whatever. That could be. Um,
Hey, Shannon, before you jump out of a proposal, we have a question from Janice. Janice would like to see how to use a saved recipe in a proposal. So maybe importing from catalog.
mhm.
Maybe that would be
Yeah.
a good.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So if you're looking at a recipe lives behind a line item. So I'm not super familiar, I'm not remembering one just offhand of anything that we have. But if I'm here in the personals and I click import from catalog, if I do have any sort of recipe on the back end that you can pull that here in the proposal. I don't know that I have any sort of saved recipes right now.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll just choose this one because it looks promising. I'm just going to choose this one. But this allows me to pull it right into my proposal from that one. And if it has any sort of recipe on the back end, that recipe can already exist here. Let's see if let's see if I do have anything. Yeah, oh, I see that I have a couple of items that are in here. So yeah, if you have any sort of saved recipes in your catalog, you can quickly pull that in. Say that you did build something really incredible, like this bridal bouquet. If I built something really incredible here, I can click save item to catalog. And a lot of times what people will do is they'll do bridal bouquet and they'll say like boho or colorful pastels, just something like that so that they know in general what this is, what this sort of line item is so that they can pull that in and again in the future. But you can save it to your catalog and keep pulling this in over and over and over again. Okay. Um, okay, perfect. Let me see. Okay. So the other one for us to take a look at is something that we call staffing. So this is something that you can add into your account. I think that I guess I could have done it in that one, but I think I started prepping it in this Julie plus David. So I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to jump into the orders. Okay. We have something that's called staffing. So this is a new functionality that we've just released in Curate. I'm excited to show it off to you. So in here, I can go in here and I can add a staff line item right here. So I'm going to pull that in. I have a line item that says staffing right here, but actually I'm going to pull in this staffing line item, right? And I can pull from anything that I already have saved. Yeah, let me try to just click import from catalog, see where my items are. Make sure I clicked save earlier when I was building this. Give me just a second. Okay, so if you have this enabled for your account, you'll kind of see the back of house of what I'm doing right now. So in my staffing, you can add different roles. This is something that's going to populate in your catalog. If you have staffing, you'll have that different tab up here. And it's going to populate here where you can add different staff members where you have a pay rate and you have a bill rate in here. So I do have those items that are already here. Let me try that one more time. Get a staff line item. Let me go in here. I'm going to add this in here for staffing. Let me take a look. Okay, there we go. So over here, if I've got my staffing line item, I was playing with this earlier, so let me just remove these extra ones. If I've got my line item in here, and this can be an internal line item as well, I'll point that out. But if I go in here, I've got my, oh, I think I deleted the one that was important. Okay. So if I've got my staffing in here, I can pull from the roles that I already have. So I know I've got head chef. I may need 2 of those. And then I can put start time and end time on here. So I may need a head chef on Saturday. I haven't even checked the date of this event, but I may need him on Saturday and or her on Saturday from 1 to 8 p.m. or 8 p.m. Sorry. Right? Right. So I've got 2 of them actually. That's going to be during that time period. I'm going to add another one for my designer. I need 1 of those. We're going to have that person on Saturday, but it's actually going to be earlier. It's going to be 9 to 1. Okay. All right, perfect. So if I've got that built out on my side, here, you can kind of see the items that will kind of go behind that for the scheduling. And then you also have an additional staffing tab that's going to show here at the top in that proposal, where you can go through and see anything that would kind of go into that right here. So if you've got your pay rate here, you've got the bill rate right here for the amount of time that you're going to need them, and um, what that schedule kind of looks like. So if I jump back over to orders, I am going to make that, I think it's the second one, but we're going to go ahead and make them both internal again, make them internal. Okay. So your customer may not need to see that item. If you want them to, they can. You can put pricing on there if you want to, so that you've got totals that are showing. But oh, look, they went away. Hold on. Let me see. Let me make it live one more time. If you want to add those totals in there, you can, because you may be using it as like your billing hours or anything like that. You can use those there. The other thing that we do have that's upcoming new. So I will say for the staffing one, if you're interested in learning more, if that's a pain point for you guys, if you're interested in seeing more about that or kind of talking more about what that would look like for you as far as add-on costing, just let us know. There's a little bit more, there's some more elements behind it and some more pieces that are coming as well. But yeah, we're always happy to kind of walk through it and look at what that would look like for your account. The other thing that I will show off while we're here is this new AI module that we've recently released into Curate. It's this AI assist. So you'll see it in my account. It's this little button right here, and it'll say anything that you may want to add, uh, let's say, let's do this one. I'm just going to use this one about a colorful bridal bouquet. So this is linked to ChatGPT. So a lot of the stuff that you would be using in ChatGPT, you can do it right here within the system, and you can copy and paste this, because I might say, um, uh, reduce the length. All right. So then it can kind of give you some quick items, quick things that you may want to use in the system. Now, this works a lot of places across the system. So, yeah, if I want to look for anything, what are things that I've done with this person? You can do it also in reporting. I can kind of see I've got analysis that I can look across my events. What are the events that I've done most often? We'll see what it comes up with. This one is not the most built out account, but we'll see what it says. Um, what are the let's see what it comes up with. But you can kind of use this as like a short way to kind of look at data, generate data, things that you would be using ChatGPT for. It's really just like integrated right there in your account. So it's like a quick way to access that and using your event data, using your stuff data that's in there. So always interested if there's any questions or anything. I know that you guys asked a lot of questions, which is really great. Asked a lot of questions while we were chatting today. Mackenzie, anything else to add here before we go through the closeout?
Um, One of them was how do you print or share just the internal notes?
Just the internal notes. So let me see if I can find a good example. If I go into Julie plus David, it kind of depends on what you mean by internal notes. But if I have something by event description, here I've got something in my event description and production notes for this event, Julie plus David, Julie and David. So if I want to share just those notes, I can go to view prints and then I can just show production notes and event description and event name. So if that's something that you're wanting, maybe that's what you're looking for, um, it we may need a little bit more um we may need a little bit more idea there because you may mean maybe line item notes or production notes or something like that because that can change, but you can basically toggle on or off anything that's here
Hmm.
in the print section and then print that right there.
She said that was perfect, so thank you, Shannon.
Okay, perfect. um Lily asked, does everyone have access to the AI? The AI is going to be an add-on. So it's something that you can add to your account if you desire it or whatever. You can take a look, try it out. Or, it is something that you can add on to your account for a charge. It would be a charge that's there. Okay, we're a little bit over. We had a lot to talk about today. So I'll go ahead and kind of do our closeout here. A few things that we've recently done as well is we do have some training courses actually that have recently launched. It's the Curate 101 training courses. So you can do this for your team members, you can do it for yourself. If you just want to make sure that you're taking advantage of everything that Curate has, it's self-paced and you do get a certification. You do become Curate certified. You can use that on your on LinkedIn. It is something that you can add to your it's a course and you can add that to there. Um, if you are in the system and you are looking for help, be sure to reach out to us via chat. We do a lot of trainings all the time. And so if you want to hop onto a training every week, generally we're doing trainings, we're really doing trainings all the time. But if you're looking for an opportunity, just let our team know what you're looking for, and we can help find a way for either just giving you that understanding of it or give it like linking you up with a live training that you can work through any questions or anything like that that you may have for how you can use Curate better. There's always a way. Something else that we talked about before, we kind of alluded to it, was everything that we build and release. Many things are because our customers have made requests or given us feedback. So, huge thank you to customers who have participated in our feedback committees or have personally talked to us or have taken the time to send us something in chat to say, hey, it would be really great if we had this item. We have something called, we have a link that we can send out and we'll include it on the follow up email where you can
Mhm.
submit any sort of feedback that you may have. So please take the time to do that because everything that we're releasing, the majority of items are due to that feedback, and we want to build the best software for you. Here as well in your little chat box right here, every week, anytime that we're doing updates, you can find those here in the system. You know, we do a lot of releases. We typically do one update a week, but we do a lot of releases that we like to get out there. So that's how you can kind of see those releases as they come. We will send out the recording for our call, but definitely join us next month. You can go ahead and sign up for that next month. And thank you for joining us today. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.